Kevin Brown is back for part 2 of his first conversation with myself, the geek, and my brother, the Fret. And holy shit, we hit a whole bunch of stuff in this episode. Make sure you listen in, because at the end of the episode, we're going to play another one of his songs, and I know you're going to love it. It is freaking phenomenal. This guy is super talented. He's hilarious. He's got a couple of podcasts he's on. Anyway, cue the music.
Welcome to the Sean and Geek, the Sean Geek and Fast Fret podcast. Done.
Well done. Okay, we're going to use that. Okay, well,
it's that weird thing though, too, because I prefer typically. I like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I like the guys who play with a ton of feel, who can still play. Like they're still technically brilliant guitarists. But when you get someone like that, who's like you said, he's playing with a ton of feel, but he's playing a million notes as well, and that's such an odd combination to be able to do both in one song. Like that's crazy.
Have you heard of these guys here, Small Town Titans?
Nope.
Todd?
I heard this one, the Grinch one. It's just awesome. Yeah, he does an awesome job with that.
This guy is I don't know if because I'm a singer, I do a lot of nerdy singery stuff. Like I'm always I'm watching opera shows and stuff like that. But this singer is so good. But he does a lot of covers, and he does kind of whatever people want to see.
Yeah,
quite the range.
Charismatic voice, as evidenced by my fluffy red and white hat. It is the holiday season.
Have you seen this lady then?
No, it's the different one I'm thinking of.
Right.
I haven't seen this one.
The shape
No.
of Small Town Titans performing You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. This will be my very first time hearing Small Town Titans. I was told I couldn't listen to another song by them first. I had to really have this be the first time reaction. So I'm really excited to get to hear them. I think that they're rock metal. Now, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch is a song that I am familiar with. I've coached many people on, and it's originally sung by Thurl Ravenscroft. Big, deep, bassy, very resonant voice to lyrics that come from Dr. Seuss. So I take a look at that, and then I try to wrap my mind around how would a rock metal band do a cover of it. I just don't know what this is going to look like. So let's get to it.
Just look at her face. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what I'm going to get.
This feels dark.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black pea.
She's into it.
I just get goosebumps when he says.
Okay, total first impressions. Here we go. I liked the groove that they set up right away. I thought it was pretty interesting. It has more of like a languorous, like almost like something crawling out from underneath a rock kind of feel that they've got going on. And then it was really cool to hear.
I'm gonna skip ahead to the part where he hits those the big note there,
the higher notes.
Yeah. Probably around here.
Yeah, he's just killer control, man.
Spiders, you got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I would insert you with a 39.5-foot
think she just had the big O there.
In so many different ways. One of the things that's really awesome is he keeps changing different octaves.
Her reactions are like the best because it's so like she studied opera and did nothing but opera.
Yeah.
So her she's literally this is like completely out of left field. So after she did this video and commented on it, and everyone, this is kind of the one that kind of broke her channel a little bit.
Okay.
Then what happened was she fangirled so hard for this singer that everyone commenting in the comment section reached out to Small Town Titans like, did you know that you got a reaction from what is Zharoff,
right,
and they became fast friends after.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she did a whole interview section with him, and they were talking vocal techniques, and he's actually a vocal teacher as well. So this has happened a few times. She did Devin Townsend. I don't know if you know who that is. Canadian guy. And same thing. Eventually her fans and Townsend's fans why are you guys not talking to each other?
Yeah,
you guys should totally talk to each other. You're out of your mind if you don't talk to each other. So now I don't know, and she's huge now. She's got 1.3 million on this particular episode.
Yeah,
wow.
That's craziness.
But it's nuts. But I'll just play a second of this. I don't know why I'm doing this, but because I can, I guess.
Well, this is her singing.
It's her singing, yeah. Okay, I know this isn't an opera podcast.
No, but it's cool because when you watch those singers, when they're very specific about how they shape their mouth when they're singing, right? Because to get very specific sounds, that's completely deliberate and it's trained and it's it's repeatable, and so you're gonna get the same tones every time. Whereas you and me, just going,
yeah. But it's interesting, the mouth shape and stuff like that. So I did take vocal lessons.
Mm-hmm.
When I went, it's you don't realize that you're doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
So everything you're doing is not for longevity. It's for immediate effect. If you're on stage, it's for that immediate, I could sound like James Hetfield from Metallica or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're going to add Oz to every sentence. You know what I mean? We're going into the store. There's my brother Todd.
That's what I talk to other people. I can't listen to Metallica for that reason.
Yeah,
because he just sounds like Triple H from wrestling to me. It's you don't have to do it on every single freaking word, man. It just drives me nuts.
Or is that a little bit of Macho Man? Yeah. Adding at the end of everything.
Hulk Hogan, yeah. You say you don't know where the Macho Man is coming from? You're right. You don't know anything about the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and where I'm coming from. Because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah. How one man could make it to the top of the World Wrestling Federation mountain, yeah. All by myself. No pukesters helping me to the left. And no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
But because Hetfield didn't do that on the first album, right? So it was definitely affected. It was an affectation that he put on later, right?
Yeah.
A deliberate sort of, like Axl Rose's IEI.
E-I-E-I-O.
Are you ready for me?
loses, you'll get 20
Let's
headbanging
reverse
bones.
that, and then it's going to be very metal. Yeah.
Now I want to hear Gio doing old McDonald's.
You know what? I bet you there was that series called Shreds. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
Blink,
got to be a
blink, blink,
Yeah.
Oh God,
So good. So good.
But when we did the Dome CD, the vocal style is Hetfield because that's what Oli wanted. So I actually changed how I sing to be a bit more Hetfield because the original tracks I'm laughing so hard I'm actually lightheaded now. But the way the original 4-track demo we recorded, I was actually singing me.
Yeah.
And because this was a concept album, I'm like, okay, I got to devise a voice. And talking to Oli, like, oh, you got to sound more menacing and da, da, da. So I actually changed how I sang. And even I don't know how much you listened to it, but in the background, Todd mixed the whole thing. Todd mastered the whole thing. But we would add additional vocal tracks in the back. So there's screams in the back at key points. So just to make it a little bit more metal, because Oli wanted metal. But there
was one, California.
Yeah.
There was a really cool harmony vocal, and it's just right at the end.
Yeah.
It was like there was nowhere else in the song, but it just threw it in right. I was like, fuck, that's so cool, man. That's a real. But I actually got, because obviously I know you're going for the Hetfield, that kind of inflection, but I got a lot of Alice Cooper in that too. Like there was times it was like the phrasing and the intonation was like super Alice Coopery too. And I don't know if that's just in combination with the music, but those are the vibes I got from it as well. So
well, I was trying to get certain intonations at certain places because like I said, it's conceptual. So maybe that's the Alice Cooper influence because there is definitely a story going on. And the sequencing of the songs, like which one is next, and
super important.
There's that, like Alice Cooper's very he's always telling a story, so there's probably some of that. But I was trying to inflect certain points where, even the on Pinprick, there's the line there where they just shut out "suck" or whatever. That was incredibly deliberate. But I think at the time I was pissed off at Oli, and I think that's where it might have come from.
Well, it's like the whole, the story about the scream on Beast, right?
Yeah.
And Dickinson says I can't remember which producer it was, but made him do it over and over and over. And it was literally 2 hours. And at the end of it, that was really a sort of a tortured scream of, I am sick of doing this.
Yes.
And it just goes for it. That's the one. That's the one we need.
That's the one we need. Yep. Todd wasn't a taskmaster in the studio, I don't think.
No.
What's that?
You weren't a taskmaster in the studio.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You weren't like a jerk. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
No, I mean it was pretty much how everybody wanted to play it to their satisfaction, and then I kind of mixed it all together accordingly. So yeah.
So was that home studio recorded then?
Yeah, I was actually recording it on this laptop.
It sounds really good for that. Wow.
And it's I just used Reaper, and then I had a bunch of plugins and stuff that I had but I had to do a lot of research. Like Sean's vocals, I actually had to search for a sound to mix vocals because I didn't really know how to do that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, guitar and bass stuff, just put it in front, some compression, maybe some reverb. It's not, the main sound is there, but when it comes to the voice, I wanted to try and make it instead of doubling tracks and and kind of offsetting them a little bit to give it that stereo-ish type of an effect. I kind of went out and went, okay, well, what are these studio guys doing? What are these studio guys doing? And then I just kind of took bits and pieces and put it together, and then tried to mix it a certain way. And that was the same vocal thing that I used for Sean. I used for my mom. I used for Folsom Prison Blues when I did it. It was all the same setting.
Yeah.
I just kind of brought the vocals into a certain space, and that's the way I did it. Where now I can't remember now where I got it from. This laptop kind of crapped the bed when it came to my plugins. So it's like, I don't know how I did it. So now if I were to try and replicate, I'd have to try to do it from the beginning.
Well, what you should do is just load that session up and let Reaper tell you, oh, you need this plugin.
I transferred. Yeah, I transferred everything over to a hard drive. I don't know if that was one that crashed or not, but Yeah, no, I don't know if I could. I mean, if I did my research on it, I'm sure I might be able to find it again.
Well, because you brought it up, do we want to play Mom? You want to hear
Go
Mom,
on.
Kevin?
Absolutely, of course.
All right, let's do this. I just found which
You got
one
it
should we
queued
do, Todd? First time ever I saw your face.
I don't know.
Or-
Was
Oh
it?
wow.
Yeah, let's do that one. I think that's it's all covers that she's doing, obviously, but
Yeah. So the vocal mix will be all the same
Okay.
settings anyway.
Where did you get the back? Did you just kind of get a MIDI backing track, or?
Yeah, just the backing track.
Yeah.
The first time ever I saw your face,
Wow.
I thought the sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and stars were the gifts you gave to the night, and the empty skies, my love.
So it's totally genetic then. You guys get your music from your mom.
yeah.
She has such a distinctive vibrato. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone else sings like that.
No, I haven't heard anything like that.
Very instinctive. Very,
I love her.
distinctive.
I've tried to copy it, but I can't. Mom's just too good.
What's you say? It's that fingerprint thing with guitarist vibrato is the same thing, right? Like it's a style thing. The really good players and good singers, it's just their own thing, and you can try and replicate it, but it doesn't really sound the same. And
this was, how old was she when she did this?
I don't know, 70.
This was
Oh
5
my
years
God,
ago.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it says wait, the time's on here, right?
It says 5 years ago and was posted, and that's when it was made. So
Yeah, that's killer.
and now she's 76,
7.
7.
I think. Yeah.
What color me impressed. Beautiful. And a great song too.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you,
There's
Todd,
a-
did you guys ever do
There was a couple that we did, but I can't remember them all.
they're all on here.
Oh, okay.
What else is on here? Summertime,
Tears in Heaven.
Jen,
Wow.
Love Will Keep Us Alive.
The Timothy B. Schmidt arrangement or the original Paul Carrack?
I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, this is her with her band, actually. This is all real musicians here.
Okay.
Oh, this was, this, I didn't record this one.
I didn't mix this one. Okay.
So was she in bands when she was
God,
younger?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is probably from the 90s, right, Todd?
Yeah, I think it was in the 90s.
That's when
Okay.
Yeah, they were called Pieces of 8.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So with that, this is the only song I think they didn't record like their jams very much, but they had this one for some reason.
Yeah.
So I think Todd, did you tweaked it a little bit? Maybe just took the original recording and tweaked it a bit. And
I don't know if I did or not. I can't remember now.
yeah,
A while back.
so this guy, he basically put video over top of Todd's recordings or whatever. Even
Right.
he made a video for We Are Machine, which is interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Mom.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, my mum can't sing like that. I'll tell you that right now.
So you've heard the Bros Before Gin, right? So the last songs on there, like the last ones with vocals, which is our Just Jammin' Band, those songs were written for Mom to sing.
Okay.
It's never happened.
Yeah, I'd written, so for This Feeling, I'd written kind of like early Fleetwood Mac meets the band meets metal era Floyd. and it's very squarely in my wheelhouse. And then the next one, the flow, as like I said, it's that one's Fleetwood Mac meets the band and meets metal era Pink Floyd meets Temple of the Dog. So it's got that really
Temple
kind
of
of
the Dog,
so
Yeah,
right squarely in my wheelhouse.
Wow.
And I found the cyber what was it?
Cyber Love,
Cybershopping?
Cybershopping. Yeah.
I'm not just into rock and roll. I do like other stuff
yeah.
too, because I got really heavily into Underworld.
Mm.
You know, it's like a techno and it's got that vibe to it. So it's that stuff that I could program to that. Like when I'm programming, if I'm coding or doing that kind of work, I can't have lyrics really. I can't be listening to the lyrics. So I need just that beat and that kind of rhythmic pulsing sort of melody. I dig it all, man. You guys are crazy talented musicians. It's insane to me.
Yeah,
and I always like people who've got different modes too, right? Like it's always the sign to me of there's a good rock musician or a great jazz musician, but like musicians writ large can do a little bit of everything and sort of have an appreciation of different things. So
for me, putting the Bros Before Gin thing out, it's like, okay, because I was pissed off at Sam. It's like, well, you guys are just hard rock, cock rock, blah 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 blah, and he'd always make fun of what we were doing, kind of dismissing it a bit because his background, he likes punk and reggae and all that sort of stuff, and he didn't really like. I don't think he really liked the Dome album at all.
Oh,
it was too commercial-ish sounding, like commercial metal sounding. For his likes anyway. So then I sent him this, and he's like, "What the fuck happened here?" Like, and then he heard Folsom Prison. Like, is that Todd? I'm like, yeah.
What, on serious? That's
Yeah.
punk. That's like sounds like fucking Duff McKagan. I totally get that really dirty, grungy garage feel. So I was like, this is great.
That's a punk song. Like, it was written. It was an anti-establishment punk song, right? It's like, dude, like if you think we're just a one-trick pony, like, hello.
Yeah.
Pushing people down to climb up the ladder. Brooks Brothers suit warm by corporate lava. Eat away the pride, the build of the people. Smoking cold scars in a tower steel.
When you got that, and there was that blend too, like on Broken, I was listening to that one. I was like, it's kind of got like Ed's Brown sound on it.
Oh yeah,
but that sort of that vibrato in the song. It's like that's all Slash to me. It's got so you've got this weird little hybrid of two different players who've got very distinctive ways of playing, all sort of jammed into one. Yeah, it's very cool.
It's so good. Todd, the riff he came up with on that is
super cool.
It's really good. I'm a fan of Todd, as you can tell.
Yeah, well, me too, increasingly.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'd written down. Yeah, so I'd written guitar tone in the intro reminds me of Ed's Brown sound, but the vibrato is all Slash. Absolutely love that riff lick. Too cool. What was it played on? What guitar did you play that on?
Wasn't it your black Strat?
No,
or the Ibanez?
depend on the songs. Ibanez was probably what it was. Yeah, my RG.
Yeah.
At the time, I think it had the INF1, INF2 pickups in it, which are pretty dull sounding. And I've switched them since, and I've put a JB and a jazz in it, which livens the sound up a bit. But the different guitars, I don't know. I've got so many that I've tried on different things. But at the time, I only really had, well, as you can see behind me, at the time, I only really had 3 guitars. One was my uncle's Telecaster that I grew up with. And that was one of the songs that we had done at Ray's, one of the songs I think that's on that album there. Okay. And then I had the red Strat, the one you see behind me on the floor.
Yeah.
And my Ibanez, which I don't have hanging up, but yeah, I think those were my 3 main ones. All these other ones I've only really acquired within the last 5 years.
You know, one thing, like when your next project goes huge and you become this like global megastar, and they do, you know, in 20 years they're going to do a retrospective documentary about your life. There's going to be this guy saying, "So what did?" And you're going to go, "Fuck, dude, I don't know. I don't remember." It's going to be the worst documentary ever. I don't know. I don't know what key it was in, so you'd have to tell me the song. I don't know.
I was going to do a Steve Vai impression of talking about Todd, but I don't know if I can do a Steve Vai. He'll probably sound like he's from Germany, though.
Go for it. We got to hear it now. You can't tease us with that.
I was listening to this guitar play he's from Brooklyn now. Like, hey, Steve Vai from Brooklyn. Here's Steve Vai from Brooklyn.
Steve Vai from Brooklyn, yeah.
I was listening to this guitar player from Winnipeg. I don't know what that place is, but yeah, he's got a really interesting tone. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it, you mook.
Yeah, I don't know. My impressions all really suck.
I still, my favorite. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but my favorite interview with Vi is the one we're talking about is his audition with Zappa.
And oh my God, when I went down actually to play during the rehearsal, I thought, this is crazy. I'm 20 years old and auditioning for Frank Zappa. This is ridiculous. But I went down. He told me to learn all these songs, and of course, he pulled all these songs that I didn't know, you know. And he was so. You should ask Vinny, because Vinny was there, how brutal he was on me. I couldn't even believe it. He made it so difficult. There's one thing, and I know this isn't necessarily a Frank interview, but I'll tell you the story, it's great. This is during my audition. He says, and Frank would like play these things on the guitar, and he had a certain technique, but he wasn't like a shredder or anything like that, you know. And he'd play something, he'd say, play that. And I go, okay, and I play it. And he goes, okay, now, play it in 7/8. I say, okay, and I play it in 7. He goes, okay, now play it reggae 7/8. Okay, and I do it, and he goes, okay, now add this note. Okay, and I do it. Playing reggae 7/8, and I'm adding these notes. He goes, okay, add this note. And it was impossible. It just was physically impossible, not just for me, but for anybody. I said, oh, I can't do that. And he goes, I hear Linda Ronstadt is looking for a guitar player. That's classic. Give me an impossible thing, And at the end of the rehearsal, I went, and he was just other things too, but at the end of the rehearsal, I went up to him, I said, thanks for inviting me, I'm really sorry, I'm going to go home now. He goes, you're in the band. And I hugged him.
In the editing, I'll insert that here.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good payoff. It's a good little joke. But he's one of those guys who, because he's so out there in a different stratosphere than most people, you'd imagine that he could be a little bit arrogant or a bit aloof. But he just seems like such a nice, humble, kind of affable guy,
I think both him and Joe are pretty down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not. It's not like Yngwie fucking Malmsteen.
Yeah.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to Basics of Guitar with Yngwie fucking Malmsteen. I am Yngwie fucking Malmsteen, lead guitar player for Yngwie fucking Malmsteen. Some people call me guitar prodigy, but I find prodigy to be such a strong word. No, I prefer living guitar god.
I'm Yngwie fucking Malmsteen.
Get a different name, you idiot. It's crap. It's a stupid name.
It's Yngwie J. Malmsteen. Don't forget the J. It stands for Jesus. Because I am Jesus.
Too shreddy for me.
Yeah, pretty shreddy. Yep. See, there's my Malmsteen impression.
At the time when Rising Force came out, and with the rise of MTV and the music videos, when I saw him play first, it was like, wow, this guy plays a million notes a second, and the feeling seemed to be there.
Yeah,
until
initially.
I listened to Vai and Satriani.
Yeah,
because I mean, even Tony McAlpine and those other shredders, it was all like a million notes. It's fine, but it just didn't have the feel. It doesn't come out and grab you.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Cacophony. Remember Cacophony? It was one of those. It was Jason Becker and
he's really good too.
Friedman, Marty Friedman, possibly. I can't remember. Cacophony was just like there was no songs. It was just, well, this one's called Flying. No, it's not. It's just you shredding. Like,
yeah, that's okay to go do in band practice, just to warm up or something. But like, I don't know, you should try writing a song every now and again.
Yeah, you know, you got
to practice my scales. We'll call it a song.
Yeah,
but it does show though that because writing songs is hard, and some people just can't do it. Right? So
yeah, I think with like Jason Becker, like he was 18 years old when Cacophony came out, and then he joined David Lee Roth's band at like 20, 21 years old, I think it was.
Okay.
And then but he was like Shreddy McShredderson, like up to that point, right? But to replace Vai, he had Vai, and then it's like, fuck, what do I do now? Like I lost Vai. Who do I? So he got Jason Becker, right? Brings Jason Becker in. Oh, yeah. In some ways, Roth toned Becker down. Like, okay, well, you can do all this stuff, but let's write tunes, dude. You know, so like he kind of brought him back down to earth, and then he got ALS and
oh man,
at 20, 21 years old. So he gets the gig of a lifetime with Roth, and then his hands he starts losing the ability to, you know, press his hands on the fretboard, and he's having trouble picking. And so they when they recorded that album, which was the one after Skyscraper, whatever one that is, they switched the strings so he could actually press down on the strings because he was losing strength in his hands. So he somehow got through to the end of the album, and I think he used like Alice Cooper's guitar players or something to kind of pinch hit and stuff. And then after that, then his ALS was fully progressed, and I mean, he's still with us. He's still alive, but he can't speak.
Oh, man alive. Wow.
But he actually has been putting albums out. You don't know. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'll go into this a little bit. So basically, I think his dad invented a way to communicate with his son, and it's all an eye movement. So he'll go left, right, up, down. Okay. That's a B. Left, up, down. And he communicated with eye movements because his eyes still move his eyes. So he started composing. So he used that language to find a way to transcribe it on a scale.
Wow.
And he's still composing, only using his eyes. So what he does, he brings musicians in because and they'll play on the album. So he's composed everything, and people come on and actually play what he's composed.
That's wild.
Yeah, that album is out, right? Do you know the name of the album?
That's wild. Wow.
I don't know. It's on my spot or on my my YouTube music. But it's
the thing too. But those guys who can write music in their head and can tell you, well, these are the notes.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can only write by bashing away at the piano. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine that.
What
Wow.
sounds good? Or here, what's the next note going to sound good? And you physically have to hear it. But for him to be able to compose it without actually hearing it, it's
But Eddie was a fan of Jason Becker, and he actually went and visited him.
You're going back to too, though. You're talking about, replacing Vai in Roth's band, or any guitarist is coming into a big rock act like that. Yeah, you need to be able to be technically good enough to shred and play these solos and everything, but you need to be able to write riffs too. Like, riffs are important in rock music.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And again, not everyone can do that either.
But this just goes to show how great a guy Eddie was. So this is Jason Becker here, and Eddie visited with him.
This is the 69th one, so it's the first 100. I personally, check and make sure they're good. Named that after my son Wolfgang.
How old is Wolfgang?
5.
Oh,
cool. Wow.
Aw.
Do you want to put it in your lap? Oh yeah. I came up with this thing. You want to put your hands on the top of it? Just
he didn't need to do that.
Automatically.
Yeah,
he just did it though.
Yeah.
Detune. Oh, great. Got a patent on it and stuff.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
Put it in, it was a Van Halen tape. He said, man, that tape is the greatest thing.
Wow. Crap. Clapton was my main influence too, but during Cream. And Blind Faith was cool too, but after that I kind of lost interest. And like Derek and the Dominoes and
well, my Eddie Van Halen story is when the kids were younger.
That's his mom, yeah.
I was watching a video with him jump. Mm-hmm. And I thought you were so cute, and you were just running all over, and you were smiling, and you were delighted. You were having so much fun playing guitar, and I said, Jason, man, I hope when you play guitar you have that much fun, and he did. He had a lot of fun.
It's like stage.
It's like a big toy to you. It was great.
Well, I mean, it's all I do.
I know that, and that's
and being on stage is like one place where nobody can fuck with me.
Yeah. But you were just
no management, no record company. Well, yours pulls up.
All right, I'm not going to play the whole thing.
That's so cool. Yeah,
but he. That's the thing with Eddie. Like, some people don't always realize it, but he did stuff like that all the time. For like, he's not doing it like, oh, okay, hey, good publicity spot, like. But he did shit like that all the time. Like, when oh my God, what's his name? The Dimebag Darrell died. He was at the funeral,
right?
And he donated his black
Bumblebee,
the Bumblebee, right?
The yellow,
and he was
black and yellow, yeah. Wasn't he buried with it? That's a story. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but
of course, Gene Simmons jumped in and wanted to one up everybody, so that he was buried in a Kiss casket.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my holy!
Gene
God.
donated a Kiss casket because it was promotional, right? Like, you can.
Jeez, I still can't believe that was a thing, but yeah, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
I get you when you're coming. I get you when you're going. That's what he always said. Kiss condoms and Kiss casket.
In and out. There you go.
In and out.
Coming in, they got you going out.
It's Corey's old In and Out. What is he calling it? That place he'd travel to Montana.
Yeah.
Called the In and Out.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, shit, we've gone on for a long time here. So
yeah, fun with this edit.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. I like editing. It's fun.
Kitchen party.
Kitchen party. Yeah, that's what we do, right? That's why it's called the kitchen sink, the Bros Before Gin, because it's like a kitchen party.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have
I will just finish that. That is a very Canadian thing, or maybe it's North American, but it's Canadian. Like, no one hangs out in the kitchen in the UK.
No, I was wondering about that.
No, like, we've got sofas, man. Like, there's comfortable furniture in the living room. Let's go live in the living room. Like,
well, you watch Mrs. Brown's Boys. She's always in the kitchen with all her company. So isn't that like a kitchen party?
Well, the old women, the women go in the kitchen, and the men hang out and smoke in the living room, right? So,
okay.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
When we were growing up, though, it was at Grandma Dora's house, and she had the kitchen was like huge.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah.
But everyone, and then you get somebody comes in with a squeeze box, somebody brings a guitar, you know, and then everyone just comes
Mandolin and violin and
violin, yeah. And then the men
the
were
spoons.
Yeah, the men were playing, and then the women were singing, and it was just like every time at my grandma, like at her grandma's house, it was like that's what it was, and it was like the big live freaking jam.
Every once in a while, you hear, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame it's been lost, but
yeah, I don't know if that's a maritime thing though. I don't know if they have kitchen parties in Winnipeg or Saskatoon or anything. Like I don't know if that's a thing or not, but that's what we grew up. So that's with the show. I think the idea is just like, okay, well, you're in the corner of the kitchen, everyone's chatting. You've picked a cousin and another cousin, and the three of you are in the corner, and you're just talking about whatever comes to mind. Like,
yeah,
no
Uncle. So I'd say Uncle Ronnie was kind of he would show up with his guitar, his music stand, his book, and he'd start playing. And that was the beginning of the kitchen party. If anyone else had an instrument they wanted to play, they'd come in and join in, and that's the way it was. It's a shame that the following generation didn't have someone that did the same thing.
Yeah.
And just kind of continue the legacy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Like, I mean, we all, like, most of our family plays music, but no one really said, okay, I'm going to be the person that just kind of sits down and strums and plays these songs, and then to have everybody join in, whether it's the old type of music, whether it's an acoustic version of the music now, kind of like what Muzak does with Metallica and stuff.
Yeah.
That you hear. But yeah, it's a shame because we've all kind of gone our own ways.
It's almost like a campfire thing, right?
Yeah, we've all kind of done band stuff, but not the campfire stuff. Like if I could play like the Folsom, blues type thing, if I were to be able to, walk and chew gum at the same time, maybe I would have maybe tried to do that. But
yeah,
it's not something that's in my forte, anyways.
But what I liked about the kitchen parties too, it wasn't like there'd be like some Acadian music, right, from where we're from.
Yeah,
like just traditional, fiddle and that sort of stuff, music. But then they'd break into something Celtic, like they'd be, oh, Danny boy, like or something. Like they'd break into like various Celtic, traditional Irish drinking songs, like that sort of stuff. Like they played everything. It was just whoever started. Okay, I'm going to start, and then it just whatever it was, right? Like it was.
There is no beer.
Country.
Yeah, if you grow up with music around the house, though, I think it's so much more natural. If you've got any inclination toward it, or if you have any innate musicality or ability, it makes it so much easier, right? Because I've got a keyboard, I've got my drums, I've got a guitar. There's loads of instruments around our house, and the kids have always been allowed to play them. Yeah, just go smash around the drums if you want. Of course,
they should. Yeah, that shouldn't, because I know some people that's like, okay, this room is verboten, you can't go in there. Like no, like
that's what they're there for.
My kit's right here, and I work from here. This is my not just the podcast studio, but the workplace. Yeah. And Ellie comes down and serenades me all the time. She's like, I'm just gonna play drums for a bit, and I'm in a meeting with the boss, and he's like, oh, Ellie's playing again. Yeah, but it's like that's the way it should be. Like the instruments should always be out. We have the piano out upstairs, and it's always out. So, someone just wants to go, like, just don't ask permission. Just go freaking play. Like,
go learn, go suck for a while, and then get better. It's the way you do it.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions nowadays, just between the internet and tablets and Netflix, and there's just so many things taking up the kids' time that they probably gravitate a little less towards music, I find. I don't know if that's the case, but growing up, like, we didn't have any, like, we grew up in the country. So it was either, if you had a dirt bike or if you had a bike or whatever, and you went around, we had 3 channels on TV, and one of them was French. And the other one, you had to adjust the little knob because it would get snowy. And then the rabbit ears type of thing. So, I mean, you're out doing stuff all the time. So basically, I just had, that and my guitar. So that was kind of the pastime.
Yeah.
But I don't know what would have happened if we would have had as much technology then as we do now, if I would have maybe immersed myself as much into it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I may have, but
I do think that, like, people like you guys, my mate Randy, me to a lesser degree, but I think there's a tap there that you can't turn off, right? There's just something when you've got that music in you and you want to get it out. I think that's just hardwired into your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as long as you've got the opportunity and there are instruments that you can play, you're always going to gravitate towards it, I think. And the creative side, you can't not write a song, right? You can't just if there's something in there, you can't not write. It'd be like chopping off one of your legs. You can't not breathe. You can't if it's part of you, then it's going to come out.
I've lost more songs than I've written.
Of course,
because there's always like my phone. Like I had to do a dump on my phone because it doesn't matter where I am. Oh, something comes up, and I'll just I'll hum it or
totally.
whatever, or I'm tapping on the desk or whatever. But I empty it all. That like I got so much stuff on my phone, like ideas. It's like I'm never gonna get to them all. There's too much.
Yeah, but half baked ideas folder. That's what I've got to.
Yeah, but then
you listen back to some of them and you go, oh Jesus, no, that wasn't good.
Yeah. Then you go back, it's like, oh, that was Back in Black. I guess I was the original there, or whatever, right? Like, you get earworms. But what I liked is because I'm not a guitar player, I would hear, I'd hear something in my head and I would hum it. And then I would hum it to Todd, and Todd would, oh, like this? I'm like, yeah, that's great. But what I heard in my head was Back in Black, and then Todd played it, and it was Hot for Teacher. Like, it would transform from a ripoff to the way Todd was able to speak through his instrument. Like, it just came up to something new. So whenever there was, I'd say, can you play this riff? And I don't know. It always made it way better.
Yeah.
So I don't play guitar. It's like, why would I? Like, hiker next to this guy.
It's hard, man. It's a stupid instrument. Like, it's awkward and it's like really hard. It hurts your fingers. It's just
yeah, but drumming's easy, right? Because we're only moving 4 limbs at a time.
Wow,
so much simpler.
It is though to me. I find it way easier.
No, I do too. Like I can go play at any time and just jump in there. I don't know if it's a good idea to have it next to my work desk, but I'm having a bad day.
Totally is.
Having a bad day at work, and someone's being a dick or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later, and I go there.
Yeah, it's good stress relief. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome stress relief.
Yeah,
that's good.
I just go to video games and start blasting things up and whatnot. Like I was talking to Kevin early before Sean came on. Drum kits, and I was talking about because I was thinking of getting, and I talked to Sean about this before, that little drum kit from Roland. It has one mesh snare on it, and the rest of them are kind of rubber pads and whatnot. And it's just a small footprint, right? So I could put it like in the corner. Because I mean, I've played guitar and I played bass. I've tried keyboards, but I just can't. I don't know. There's too much thinking involved or something. I don't know. I just can't comprehend the whole thing. But I'd like to, have maybe a drum set and maybe, doodle around with that too. It's like, why limit yourself to one type of instrument?
Yeah.
I'm always up to learning something different. It's got a different sound, and I put my different spin on it, and it would sound like me, I guess, in a way.
And even if you don't master it, then you get a different appreciation for what that musician's doing in the band or whatever, right? You get just a different look on it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no book thing where they teach, okay, this is the way you should play. And I think it was just like Eddie. I think mind you, he had classical training, but it's like it's the sound in, right? Yeah, it's the sound in your head. It's because if you learn a certain type of music or learn to read a certain, however, I mean, it'll be not sterile, but you've got something to go to. Like some people can play by ear, some people can't unless they've got sheet music in front of them. They can't, improvise. So mine's more of an improvisation. And if I were to learn drums, I would probably be a lot of improvisation also. I'm sure that, there's the standard stuff, but any rolls and stuff, I might try something maybe different. Who knows?
Well, when you get that kit, I'll lend you my Carmine Appice instructional, and you can learn to play drums like Carmine.
Hey, Carmine,
your 8s and your 16ths.
Come on over.
Yeah, Carmine over.
Very simple. It just does, however you're going to hold your sticks, like this or like this. It's just going to play quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have your bass drum will be playing the same thing. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how I learned how to play Carmine Appice. Oh my God. It was he's so dry. He's always
Yeah.
so dry, Paul.
It's always
what a bastard.
when you watch a bit clinics and things, it's like, I don't really want to be here, but these people need my help.
Yeah. I'm getting paid a lot of money for this gig, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm never gonna raise my voice beyond this level here.
It's like the Godfather's nephew.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
that one's substantially better than Yngwie F'Ing. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Well, yeah, I listened to a hell of a lot of like that. His book, I have it behind here, but it has the floppy record in it.
Yeah,
because it was pre-cassette days. That's how old this thing is. So we got a cassette player. We have a cassette player, so I'd play it on the record player, and then hit record on the cassette, and I converted it all to cassette. So I could, when I was playing along on the record player, it kept skipping. Hey, I need you to do a 16th here, and you're playing, and it's like just fucking. And
why would you put instructional drums on a record?
Yeah, I know. Well, there was a kid.
It's a stupid idea,
and this is before electronic drums, right? So.
Yeah, but remember that's what they had. Guitar Player magazine. They had those Plexi or whatever Flexi records or whatever they called them.
Yeah, the black plastic
guitar player,
flimsy Guitar Player magazine. Yeah. Cliffs of Dover. I remember that was actually on one of them.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
showed Eric Johnson playing it. Yeah,
terrible for your stylus too. It's the cheapest, shittiest plastic you can imagine. It's going to trash your needle. Yeah.
I'm glad I converted. Like I have the cassette here somewhere, but I still go back. It's funny though. Like that was how I learned to play drums, and I still go back to it. And I'm still looking at it, going, okay, this is. But that's how I learned how to read music was that way, and then just kind of looking at how it's put together. Because drum, I don't know if you read drum music or not.
No,
but it's a simplified version of piano or anything else. So one bar is your bass drum, one bar is your snare, one bar is your one tom, and then your next tom, and then it's so literally one bar per drum or cymbal or whatever, right? So I learned how to read piano from there. Like that's where I got my start from. It's like, okay, well, this is, if you're going to learn how to read music, start with drum because it's so simplified. Yeah. But because I had that basis when I did piano, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
A little more complicated.
I can read both, but I can't play it. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Like I can read it to figure out, okay, so there's, that's where the hat's, that's the pattern. This is, okay, that now I know where I'm at. But to actually follow, because my uncle's was a session drummer in a it's called like a working men's club. So it's like the Legion, say. Yeah. So, and it would be a singer would come in with the dots, and it'd be like a singer and a keyboard player. And then the drummer and the bass player they were residents in the club, and they just had to play whatever came through, right?
Yeah.
So he'd be sitting there literally drumming like this.
Yeah.
So just playing around, just never looking at the crowd because he's just watching the notes, right? So
yeah, I can't play quickly along with, like, I have to like look at it, dissect it, and then kind of go, because then when there's like fills and stuff, it's like, okay, whoa, hang on a sec here, like
so that's 1, 2.
Like, so you start counting in, like, okay, and then he's doing the 16th, 60. Then I have to go back in my head. 16th is okay. That's the 16th. Okay, like I'll count it out because I usually play by feel more than anything. But I could still read. So I don't know. Next weekend is Abby's first recital.
Oh, nice. What is she doing?
She is going to play the song she wrote called Mr. Pig is Awesome.
That's phenomenal. I love it.
It's I'm super stoked. They write their own music, and their teacher encourages. He's not like, I need you to play Green Sleeves or whatever. Yeah. So you're going to play Green. Here's the notes. Like, he's not like that. He does portions of doing that, but then he's like, okay, let's do something. Just play. So play is okay. Slow down. Okay, and then he's jotting the notes down, and then they add lyrics later and stuff like that. So he actually worked with them on, this is how you would write a song if you're writing a song.
Yeah,
but so music teachers don't generally do that.
Well, no, but that's the stuff that's going to keep kids interested. My youngest daughter had a similar thing with her teacher, taught her musicianship, not just how to play piano, because they are two different things. Like you said, I mean, you watch all those prodigies online, you think, yeah, they're playing Chopin, but they have no connection to that music at all. They're just reciting the notes that are in front of them, and it's immaculate, but I don't buy it for a second. They don't give a shit about that piece of music.
The one that bugs me, and I do watch these, but it's the drummers playing with one hand. They're drinking. They're drinking, and they're doing, triplets with their hand and but yeah, like, okay, you're hitting all the notes, but there's nothing there. And yes, it's
100%.
You're doing triplets and quadruplets and whatever. It's like, but there's still nothing there, dude. Like, you're playing with one hand. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Play with two. It's way easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, let's cap it off there.
You bet.
We're gonna go do the we're gonna take Luna to the park or somewhere. I don't know. We gotta do so last weekend we gotta do some stuff with her, and
you bet, man.
Make sure it's a good permanent memory for the kids to have. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for last minute jumping in.
Oh, thanks for the invite, man. This has been a blast.
I wanted to do this for a while. I'm like, what the hell do we bring him on? Should we have a topic? I'm like, fuck that. Let's
just talk. It's so much more fun.
Yeah, it was easy. Yeah. All right. Well, yep. Thanks for coming on. And
thanks.
Oh yeah, we're with wait. I forgot this last time. Where do we find you?
Oh yeah. I used to have that all written down. So Tom Petty Project is, you can at the Tom Petty Project on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, and at Tom Petty Project on Twitter, and Queen Seaside on Twitter, or Seaside Pod Review on Facebook for my Queen podcast. But
Tom Petty. That's
Bob Dylan, wrong one.
Yeah. I was trying to get it right, but I can't seem to get it right. I'll do it with a German accent. It'll sound better.
Or Brooklyn Tom Petty. There we go.
Yeah. I'm free falling here. Mary Jane's
I love it.
last dance. I don't know where it was, but it was probably in Brooklyn. That's all I got. You can find us at where, Todd?
At SeanMcGinity.ca. That's SeanMcginity.ca.
Ribbed for pleasure, as we say sometimes. Anyway, and then Sean Geek Podcast on all social media.
I remember hanging out with you in front of that old record player in your mom and dad's living room. In the evenings, we wore the grooves out of Tennessee. So many of your heroes became heroes to me. Seems so long ago, but these memories live on and on. But I never said I love you, 'cause that's not what men do. And if we had a little more time, I'd call you and say, I didn't believe in God, then I saw him up on stage. That's what my brother told me when you both saw Satriani play. We went to Strawberry by train. Laughed the whole way home. Man, that was my favorite day. Seems so long ago, but these feelings live on and on. Never said I love you, 'cause that's not what men do. And if we had a little more time, I'd call you and say, my friend, I miss you. often is now to be. Reminders of our best times and all you mean to me. So I never said I love you, never said I love you, never said I love you, 'cause that's not what men do. And if we had a little more time, I'd call you and say, my friend, I love you.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. And bye. Have a good day.
Fans of the Sean Geek Podcast, this is the Core Geek talking at you. Did you know that the Sean Geek Podcast has merch available? That's right. Head on over to SeanMcGinity.ca and click the merch link at the top of the page. You'll be taken to the Sean Geek Podcast store on TeePublic, where you can find the Sean Geek Podcast logo on t-shirts, totes, masks, and more. And best of all, a portion of the sales goes to help support the podcast and allow Sean and Todd to keep bringing great content your way. Once again, go to SeanMcGinity.ca and click the merch link at the top of the page. And while you're there, don't forget to download the latest episode.